Hi there, and Happy New Year. I just want to very quickly go through a couple of new features in this release. The first one is we've just revised the way the activity feed on the left here works. Tried to simplify it a little bit, really. So what you'll find here now is that, the activity feed is now just grouped by the person who generated the activity. So here it's very clear that Antonio is the most recently active person in my network, and if I click on the feed here, I can drop the list down to see what Antonio's been doing. But one of the features that we've added is the ability to click on somebody's face, and not only will I see the messages or direct messages between somebody, I can also click on activity and see all of the activity that I share with a particular person. So this makes it much easier to work across multiple stories with somebody. You can start seeing exactly what they've been doing. Also, a nice little feature is now as you click on their face, it will tell you whether the person is online or offline. It's quite late at night now, so Medi's offline. But this helps you decide when you're doing your messaging whether you want to send an email or not, and it will automatically, if somebody's online, it will automatically uncheck the send email option. So the other thing I really want to talk to you about is a new feature in SharpCloud that allows you to use and present SharpCloud stories offline. So you can present a story without having an internet connection. Now we've been able to do this for a while now in our iPad version, but not everybody's got an iPad. And sometimes if you're carrying a laptop around, you just want to have that reserve presentation available. So there's a couple of little steps you need to do to make this really work for you. To properly work offline, you need to install SharpCloud on your computer. It's a very, very simple process. Anywhere in SharpCloud, regardless of whether you've logged in or not, you just need to right click. Now I've already installed SharpCloud, so I'm just going to remove it for a second. So I just right click and choose remove, and then I'm going to install it again. So right click on install, a dialog box will pop up depending on the kind of machine you're on and the version of Windows. You've got some options here if you want to add SharpCloud to your start menu or not. I generally don't bother. What I normally do is click OK, and you'll see SharpCloud's restarted again. But down in my taskbar at the bottom here, you'll see that I now have a new version of SharpCloud. What I generally do is pin that to my start bar, and now I've got. So if I stop SharpCloud, I've now got a really fast way of getting into SharpCloud. I can just run that program. I can drag it onto my desktop or do whatever I want with it, but that's the way I do it. And obviously I could log in and use SharpCloud in the normal way. It's quite nice having it in this version. It means it's completely browser independent, and it actually runs a bit quicker. But what I want to show you is the offline version. Now, if you run this version and you're not connected to the internet, it won't even allow you to log in. It will just take you straight to the next screen. But if you are able to log on, it will give you the option. What I'm going to do is choose to work offline. So this is where SharpCloud would take me straight away if there was no internet connection. Now at the moment it says I don't have any offline stories, so it's not that much use to me yet. I'll just leave it open for a second just to highlight the point. I've got this version of SharpCloud open, which is the outer browser version, and I've got another version open here which is open in IE in a normal browsing session. What I'm going to do is open up the IT trend story, and I want this story to be available offline. So when it loads, obviously you probably want to have your own stories available offline. The only caveat is that the stories must be part of a team. So I'm a team member here, so I can do this. If I click on the menu at the top left here, you'll see there's a new menu item here that says save a copy offline. If I hit save a copy offline, it will save the story offline, download all the images and things that it needs to be available. Actually, the first time you do that, another dialog may pop up and say that SharpCloud needs a bit of space. You have to say yes to that, obviously. So I click on OK. If I go back to my original version, my offline version here, if I hit refresh, you'll see that this story is now available offline. So I could actually show the IT trend story now without being connected to the internet. If I just click on this icon, you'll notice here that the story is loaded. Obviously, you can actually save as many stories offline as you want, and if it needs more disk space, it will just ask. Obviously, we've only got one open at the moment, but the nice thing is when the stories are offline, you've got all the features and functionality that you're used to having. So I can go through all of the views in the same way that I would do normally. Let's make this full screen to make it a bit more wowy. I can go full screen. I can still take you on through a presentation as I would have done normally. I can let's go to the theatre view. I can go to the theatre view. I can turn relationships on and off. I can still filter. In fact, I can even modify the views on as I'm going. So I can even switch the views and change the axes and do all the things that I might want to do. The only thing I can't do is save changes. So you'll notice there's no activity feed. There's nothing that nobody can modify this story while I'm in it, and I can't comment and do things that require me to be online. The only other thing to just note, as I save this story, so I'm going back to the browser version, it tells the rest of the team that I saved a copy offline and when I did it. And if I go back to the offline version, you'll also notice at the bottom here it tells me when I saved it moments ago at well, it's quite late now, it's 10 past midnight. But hopefully you get the idea. It's really simple, and we'd like to know what you think. Thanks a lot. Cheers.